Boom. Come on, Naeem. You ready? You ready, player? Jacob, you know we're coming with the alpha. Ah! You know we're coming with the alpha. You fucking kidding me? Who you think you're dealing with? Joey Bananas? Huh? The gentlemen are bullish. Everybody else is afraid. Chop, sideways, what's going on? The gentlemen are on the fucking buttons. We're supporting the market. We're buoying the prices. Everybody's trying to send it lower. The bears are trying to think that they're in control. Jake, we're on the fucking buttons. Bears can't do anything to us. All right, I'm sure you guys are all wondering, oh, what happened? Where's Logan? This is the ultimate market professionals. 2, more than 1. Where's everybody at? Don't get all freaked out, okay? Logan's okay. AOC had actually called him. Well, I don't even remember her name, but AOC, she's one of the senators, called Logan, and she was freaking out about how Doge is exposing all this corrupt spending within the government. And so she had asked Logan to help her with fighting Elon and Doge and just making sure that hairy bulls and big balls weren't able to, stop their funding. So Logan, the good guy that he is, he works with AOC all the time. He actually works with AOC all the time. Gavin Newsom helped out with the Kamala, campaign a lot. So they knew he had some value to add in that fight against Doge. So that's where he's at right now, if you guys were wondering. He's helping the AOC right now just stop all the corruption with Doge and them trying to discover all the government spending that's taking place. But outside of that, let's jump into some charts, okay? So we've had a lot of sideways price action. Everybody's waiting to kind of see where the market goes. And so are we. Now, we've had a couple of ideas on how the price action was going to play out over these last week or two, which essentially has done what we expected it to do. But we had some huge news come out last night that certainly is going to act as a catalyst for this next leg up over the next couple of months, which is so funny how things always play out like this. You get a massive nuke, you get a massive liquidation candle, everybody loses their mind, everybody capitulates, it's the last shakeout before the next leg up. And then all of a sudden we get news last night saying that iShares is trying to add yield to their ETH ETF. Well, for anybody who understands the implications of that, that is massively bullish. That is bullish beyond belief. That is way more bullish than the ETF itself, because right now, the way that the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are set up, they're effectively the same things. It's just you buy Bitcoin, you buy Ethereum. So what are most boomers going to think, right? The generation with the most money in this country. They're going to say, well, let's just buy the Bitcoin ETF. Why would we buy Ethereum over Bitcoin? Bitcoin's obviously doing better. It's been outperforming Ethereum for the past 4 years. Why would I buy Ethereum? Let me just buy Bitcoin. Well, now they have a reason. Now they have an incentive to buy the Ethereum ETF over the Bitcoin ETF. Yield. Do you have any idea how geeked up that gets boomers? Do you have any idea how yield dividends off of my Ethereum ETF? They're going to ape that shit. They're going to eat that up. So that is incredibly bullish for Ethereum. And it's so funny how these things play out, right? Pay attention. Markets, there's no accidents. Nobody knew about it. That was out of nowhere. No. Isn't it interesting that we get a massive liquidation event, one of the largest, if not the largest liquidation event in crypto in history? Ethereum goes from over $3,000, wicks all the way down to $2,100. And then 1 week later, we get news that they're applying for Ethereum ETF with yield. And Eric Trump is tweeting, you should buy Ethereum right now. Thank me later. And a whale shoved $100 million of Ethereum last night. BlackRock aped more Ethereum yesterday. Trump's crypto company aped more Ethereum yesterday. Do you think there's any kind of correlation there? Do you think somebody might know something that's happening behind the scenes that hasn't gone public yet? You see how these things play out. So, I mean, I don't understand how you could not be bullish on Ethereum. I understand the sentiment behind it. I understand why people are afraid, but this is what happens. You get these massive nukes, these massive shakeouts, and all of a sudden we get an Ethereum ETF with stake yielding. Are you fucking kidding me? That's why it nuked, because these guys understand the significance of that. So they're aping Ethereum right now. And so are us and the gentleman inside the Taylor's code. So anyways, let's take a look at these charts and we'll find out where we're going after this. And hopefully we get Logan back for next week. All right. So I got to do this a little bit differently now because I'm not used to having Logan not here. So let's do we'll do a little Mr. Producer. We got all them hoes. All right. Do that. Did that work? Come on. Okay, good. Right? Why isn't it showing? Hold on. Hold on. Show it. Yeah. There it is. Bang. Okay. I thought it was a Matrix attack. I thought AOC and Logan were attacking the stream. Okay, here we go. All right, gentlemen, let's take a look at these charts. So first things first, the typical, and I got some new ones that we're going to look at today, so hang tight. But we always just got to take a look at this again. Look at what we're doing. Same thing. We've been saying this. Since we got this massive wick down, okay, and we stayed within the range, we've literally just been dinking around within the February monthly open and the 2025 yearly open. This is on purpose. This is so that there's literally no signal in Bitcoin right now. There's no directionality. There's no decision making. Nobody thinks we're not showing that we're going to go up. We're not showing that we're going to go down. Anything between the February monthly open and then the 2025 yearly open is nothing. There's no signal. There's nothing there. Okay. So we can't even look at Bitcoin for data right now. So we got to look at other assets for some type of signal. Until we get above this monthly open or we get below this yearly open, there's nothing to draw any conclusions from. I have this line drawn out from here. If we take this high and reclaim this high, then I do believe we take that next leg higher up to like 130K. Okay. Outside of that, it means nothing. There's nothing here for us to look at on Bitcoin. Okay. So if I take away a couple of these drawings, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you something that I'm looking at here. So I want this channel. Yep. And this channel. Okay. Just from a higher time frame perspective, just so you guys can understand the structure that we're building here on Bitcoin. Okay. So what we're getting is a falling wedge or a bull flag. All right. Whatever you want to call it. And whenever you see Bitcoin build these types of structures, this is bullish. Okay. So what tends to happen with price is if you range over a long enough period of time and you see this falling wedge, this bull flag start to form, typically what happens is you'll build short in order to send higher. And then vice versa for the other direction. You'll build long to send it lower. Okay. Because what that does is it fakes out market participants. So over a long enough period of time, yeah, this is a range right here, this 8-month range, and you can draw it as a range, and we have a way where we did draw it as a range. So if I take away this channel and we should have a range on here. Yeah. So we have this range drawn out. You can draw this as a range, and you can put fibs over top of it, and you can play it as a range. But another way to look at it is as a channel. Oops. So it's this one up here. Is as a channel. Okay, this falling wedge. And so this falling wedge, you're building short in order to do what? You see what happens whenever you build short. So you build short, you're kind of slowly drawing down, you're getting people afraid, you're shaking people out of the market, you're getting people thinking that, it's probably over, we're going to keep coming down lower and lower. And finally, you break out of this bull flag, you retest the top of the bull flag, you bounce up off of it, retest it again, bang, you get that next leg higher. So you build short to go long. So what are we doing again? Well, now we've effectively done the same thing. As we get this next leg up higher on Bitcoin, we pause again and we're starting to form this falling wedge, this bull flag. And so this could take another week, 2 weeks, could take another month. We'll see. But you're building short, which is bullish because you build short, you shake people out, you get people afraid, you get people to open up shorts. So they try to drive the price down lower. And then all those people who are opening shorts, people who are selling, people who are trying to wait for lower, they get blown the hell out because eventually what's going to happen, well, something similar to what happened over here. Finally, you might still get something like this. You might get this. Who knows how long it takes. But then finally you break out of this wedge, you retest the top a little bit like that, and then you get this next leg higher, right? Effectively, same thing you got here, right? You come back down, boom, 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 boom. You finally get up top, bang, next leg higher, right? So what we're expecting is your build short for the next leg higher. Okay, so we're fine on Bitcoin. I don't see lower prices on Bitcoin coming in the sense of a breakdown. I don't see us breaking down and refilling this entire FVG, right? I don't see that happening, okay? So we get off of Bitcoin. We go to Ethereum. So what happened last night with Ethereum is we got to add some context here. We broke down. We come into this new range on Ethereum, okay? And so, not new, well, we came into this range that we had started back in August on that August 5th nuke from Japan. So we move up, we retest, and we reject at the oh-so-hated $4,000 mark on Ethereum, okay? We cannot break out of 4,000 on this cycle, not yet, okay? Previous all-time high was 4,800, 4,900. Put it up here, okay? This cycle, we keep rejecting off of this $4,100, $4,000 mark, okay? This one was about 4K, 4,100 right there. So we break down, and we come all the way back down, and we re-enter this range that we had back in August to September, okay? All the way through November, actually, okay? So we get this big liquidation wick. And so this is where people are saying on altcoins, we're not sure what is happening. Do we think it's going to come down lower? Do we think we V-recover? A lot of people are super bearish right now, and they believe that we're going to come down lower. I'm in the camp that there's still a potential for the filling of that wick, okay? So the filling of this liquidation wick. So what typically happens on these moves on Ethereum is you get this liquidation wick, this big liquidation event that we got right here. You kind of bounce back up to right here, right? You retest the top of the range. And then eventually, because everybody thinks we're back here, everybody's back bullish again. Oh, we're going to V-recover, and we're just going to do this. What happens is you get this move to the downside, okay? Which does what? Well, this move to the downside effectively fills this wick right here that we created, okay? So this wick gets mostly filled and creates the bottom of our range. And then we start our climb back up higher, and then we made that move, okay? Then we made this move. So our question that we're trying to answer right now is, all right, we did this again here in August. We came back, we refilled the wick. Here's this wick right here, okay? So what we're trying to figure out is not whether or not Ethereum on a larger time frame is bullish. No, we know it's bullish. I'm in the camp that Ethereum breaks its previous cycle all-time high before this cycle is over. If you're in that camp, then right now these are fantastic levels to be accumulating Ethereum at. And considering the fact all of a sudden they had just announced an Ethereum ETF with yield, with staking capabilities, which means people are going to start aping the shit out of it, I'm bullish on Ethereum long-term. Okay, so if I'm bullish on Ethereum long-term and I have fibs that show that we're going to make a move like that on ETH, and we're actually going to break out into price discovery and do something like that, I'm not necessarily afraid that Ethereum is going to break down on this lower time frame and we're going to go to zero. No, not at all. But what I am trying to understand is what is the most effective time? When is the most effective time to be reaccumulating our Ethereum beta? When should we be accumulating it? Well, we got to see if we get a similar move as we did last time. So do we retest the top of this range? Because look at the confluence here. This is what you have to do. Is you have to use context. We retest the top of this range right here. Okay. We test the top of the range, and then we break all the way back down and we fill this wick. Well, last night, whenever we got the news to drop about that new ETH ETF, what did we get? We got this big candle. I'll zoom in on it. Okay. I'll even go on a lower time frame. We got this big candle that came and retested the top of the range. Look at that. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's take a look at this on the higher time frame again. It's too small. So we come back and we retest the top of this range. All right. So it's possible, right? You see what happened here? So we come back down. We have this liquidation wick. We come up here. We retest the top of the range. Then we come all the way back down and we refill the wick before we end up moving higher. We come down, we have this liquidation wick, we come back up, we retest the top of the range. Okay, so there's one of two things that can happen here. If it plays out how it did last time, and we're being observant of the market, we could actually expect something like this. Boom. Right down into here. Because then what happens? We get this move, which is confluent to this one over here on the left, right? We come all the way back down. We refill this wick, which means what? Well, I'll give the signal inside of the Discord, inside of the Taylor's code, whenever we are going to accumulate our assets. But down here is whenever you would start reaccumulating, because this would signify the low. And then what happens? You get this grind back up to all the way up here, right? So we would expect something like this. So we get that wick fill, we come back up, retest the mid-range, boom. And then in my opinion, on this tap of 4K, this will be the third one. On the third tap, we finally do this. Boom, bust through. Okay? That's the move you want to be positioned for. That's the move you want to be ready for on Ethereum, because it's coming. Okay? So patience in the meantime, long-term still very bullish, okay? But that's what I could see playing out on ETH, because it would literally just be the same exact move that we got back in August when, guess what? When you were accumulating in August after this liquidation wick from Japan, right, that happened, we liquidated, we got all the way down here on ETH. If you were buying down here and you were buying down here whenever we refilled the wick and everybody else was bearish and thought it was over, guess what? You made a fuck ton of money from accumulating down there and benefiting from that move. Now, were we holding Ethereum? Of course not. We were holding Andy, Wolf, Pepe, Brett, and that's when our bags fucking ran. So I don't expect anything really different to happen here. I expect the same thing to play out, but on the third tap of 4K, and whenever Bitcoin takes its next leg higher, that's going to give Ethereum the fuel to finally break out not only of the 4K level, but shoot up to 5K and break out of its previous all-time high, previous cycle all-time high. Bang, now we're in fucking business, baby. So this is what we're looking at right here. So this is not stuff that we're unfamiliar with, right? You just have to zoom out and understand the context of where we're going in the market. So that would be if we played out the same thing as last August, okay? So there you see. Bottom, top of the range, refill the wick. Bottom, top of the range, refill the wick. Now, is it possible that we don't actually come down all the way and refill the wick on Ethereum? It's possible. But look, we get this tap on the top of the range and then we get this retrace. The best case scenario in my mind, we probably come back down to this mid-range. And then if Bitcoin gets another huge leg up, then Ethereum is just going to get dragged up with it and then we start going. That would be best case scenario. So we either round out at the mid-range, or if we break down like we did here, so we were rounding out at the mid-range, you see right here. But instead of making this move, which we're saying we could get over here, we actually got the breakdown to the bottom of the range. Once you break down, you're coming all the way down. And then we started grinding up. Okay? See that? Let's get those ugly ass drawings out of here. Okay. All right, gentlemen. So that's Ethereum, right? So we know what we're doing. We're talking inside the Taylor's code. We got the plays. We're set up for that. All right. So here's what I was looking at yesterday, just for a little bit of context and seeing whether or not we get that nuke all the way down to the bottom of the range on these altcoins, or if we start to pump. So on BNB, the last couple of days, the last 2 days, BNB actually got this huge meat stick up here at the top of its previous all-time highs. And it actually just retraced. It was up over $700. Yeah, it was up to $730. So it actually rejected. So that was interesting. We were looking at this as some type of signal, as to say, well, if BNB is reclaiming its major levels and it's starting to become bullish again, that could be an indicator for the rest of the altcoin market that other altcoins are going to start to catch up and start reclaiming levels and start becoming bullish again in their structure. Now, it did reject and it's starting to draw back a little bit, so we'll see what happens today after Trump announces his tariffs. But this is what we were looking towards is, okay, is BNB giving us some type of signal here? Are we getting a little bit of a reclaim on these levels on altcoins, or what are we doing here? Okay. It did get rejected though, so we'll see. Now, BNB is interesting because CZ and Binance are the ones who essentially, study crime, control this chart. And BNB has been reaccumulating and ranging across its previous cycle all-time highs for a while now, since March of 2024, so almost a year now. It's been ranging and reaccumulating right at its previous cycle all-time highs. That is incredibly bullish. And CZ got out of jail. He's back on the buttons. Binance is going to start making shit happen again. He's been bull posting the shit out of BNB. I'm not going to say when and where, because again, you got to be inside the Taylor's code for that. So I let the gentleman know inside whenever we're accumulating and when it makes sense to accumulate. But this is something where I'm looking at this and saying, all right, I want to buy this. I want to accumulate this asset, because if I get it at the right levels, this shit's going to fucking run. Okay? Why is it going to run? Look at this perfect four-year range. So BNB, since May of 21, whenever we had that massive alt season back after COVID, right? Runs up, creates his range, runs up, retests the range high again in November of 21. So it didn't break its all-time high. It didn't go into price discovery again. Retraced, get some interaction with the mid-range, come back, create the bottom of the range, interact with the mid-range again. See? So this is a clear range, right? You're getting all this interaction. Okay. Okay. Come over here and get this breakthrough. Come to the top of the range. Boom. So we tried to get this breakout in December, the beginning of December, whenever altcoins were at its all-time high. The altcoin market were at its all-time high and rejected. And we've just literally been ranging here right at that previous cycle all-time high. The reason that's so bullish is because you're basically creating this launch pad right here, so that when this finally breaks out, you're going to get a huge move to the upside. Okay? And on something like BNB, the next price target on BNB on the 1.618, if you're drawing it on this range, is $1,500. Right now, BNB is at $666.59. So what is that? 2x over like a 2.5. It's like a 2.5x, almost 2.5x. Okay? If it runs... Nah, we're not going to the 2.618. So I'm looking at the very least worst case scenario, just based off of these fibs. You've got this 1.618 at $1,500. So what does that mean in the context of the entire crypto space? So BNB, the reason you want to use this as a signal for altcoins is when BNB breaks out and starts going out to new cycle all-time highs and new history all-time highs. BNB is one of the largest altcoins in the entire market. So it's actually larger than Solana right now. So it's, I believe, number 4 in the world for market cap. 4 or 5, because XRP should be 3. So when this breaks out, there's going to be a huge wealth effect that takes place on the BNB chain. Why is that important? Well, all these Binance whales that hold massive amounts of BNB because they use it as collateral for whenever they leverage long, short, etc., whenever they're trading, they're going to now have so much more collateral, so much more money to play with, that you're going to see all that money start to drift and fly into all different other parts of the market, other altcoins, because it's one of the largest in the world. So that wealth effect will impact the other chains and the other meme coins and things that we're trading. So when you see this break out, this will be at new all-time highs. So everybody who's ever bought BNB ever in the history of BNB, once this finally breaks out and goes to $1,500, everybody's going to be in profit. There's not a single person that's going to be down money. So there's going to be profit taking, and that money and that liquidity and that wealth effect is going to rotate into other chains. So this is very important to keep an eye out on BNB, because this hasn't broken out to new all-time highs yet. When it does, we're ripping. So BNB is looking to break out to new all-time highs. Huge. ETH, not even close to previous cycle all-time highs. Think about that. ETH's previous all-time high was like $4,800, $4,900. We're at $2,600. BNB is at almost all-time highs. When these things start ripping, the catch-up trade on Ethereum, because it's such a laggard right now, the catch-up trade on Ethereum is going to be massive because all these other altcoins are going to be in price discovery. They're going to be at new all-time highs. People aren't going to see the risk to reward there to continue to hold that asset because they don't know how much more it's going to appreciate. What are they going to rotate into? Well, they're probably going to rotate into the L1 that's way below its previous cycle all-time high and they know is due for a catch-up trade. Bang, another point of confluence to make ETH pump. Okay. So that's where we're at on BNB. That's very important. So now let's take a look at Solana. It just got flipped by Solana. Solana, same thing. Look. Okay. Solana is also ranging at its previous cycle all-time highs. When Solana breaks out and goes to new all-time highs, it's going to go to $735, somewhere around in here. Okay. Again, wealth effect. Where's that money going to rotate to? Where are people going to go start chasing things once they see the value and the upside potential on Solana diminish? They're going to Ethereum. Bang. I mean, to me, that's so bullish because if everything else is at its previous cycle all-time highs, ETH is 50% from its previous cycle all-time highs. Everything else, all the other major altcoins are pretty much right there. So ETH has got a huge catch-up trade waiting to happen. If we look at XRP, let's look at XRP. All-time high on XRP. Look at where we're at. Fucking same thing. Look. Previous all-time high on XRP is 3.3. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? It's on the weekly. Let's put it on the daily. What are we doing? Look at this. We literally bump our head off the previous all-time high, and we're ranging down below. Right? So here's your range. There's your range right there. Look. Interaction, interaction, interaction. Right at the bid range. Here's the top of the range. Boom. Right? XRP is doing the same thing. The only major asset, the only major altcoin that isn't trading close to or at its previous cycle all-time highs is Ethereum. Why would that be? Well, there's probably something happening behind the scenes, something loading on Ethereum that people aren't aware of in the public. Is it because Ethereum is not a good asset? Is it because there's not technology attached to it? Is it because there's no opportunity on Ethereum? Why would it be trading at 50% of its previous cycle all-time high when all the other major altcoins are trading at or near their all-time highs? Why would that be? Well, probably because there's some very smart people or some very rich people that are looking at Ethereum for a very special opportunity to make a lot of money. And so they're accumulating. And so they're suppressing price. And so they're doing things to allow themselves to position correctly. So whenever they do get that catch-up trade on Ethereum, they're going to benefit from it immensely. Who else is going to benefit from it? The gentleman side of the Taylor's Code. So look at that. I mean, I already had that drawn out from before on XRP. We're at the previous cycle all-time highs. Look at where Ethereum is. Way down here. Everything else is trading up in here. If Ethereum was trading like everything else, Ethereum would be at $4,800 to $4,600 right now. Ethereum should literally be trading up in here. Think about this. We're right here. ETH should be trading right in here compared to all the other large altcoins. How much of a percent change is that? %73 move. So what would happen to Pepe on just that catch-up trade alone? Just the repricing of Ethereum compared to the other major altcoins, even if they didn't go into price discovery, if Ethereum just made that catch-up trade, 73%, well, Pepe is a 3x leverage of ETH, so Pepe would do 3x that. Andy and Wolf would do 8x that. Well, those are like 4x Pepe, so 12x that, right? So that's the catch-up trade we're looking for. That's the move that I'm seeing that's going to happen within that next could be next couple months, could be within the next year, but I believe at the very least within the next year. Okay. So that's where Ethereum is compared to all the other major altcoins. Great. Now, in comparison to another point of confluence, all right, I was looking at this the other day. I'm giving you guys a lot of fucking game right now, showing you how to look at these markets. Sell ETH at 4K. I wouldn't. I'm not. You can. I would not be selling ETH at 4K. So that would be you expecting this move again up to here, which is a nice move. I mean, you're definitely going to print off of the boys club. If you're in the boys club, you're going to print off of that. That's the same move we got from down here up here, and we fucking printed like 15x on Wolf, and then we printed close to a 10x on Andy. You could. It would be a good place to start de-risking. It would be a good place to start taking profits, I would say. Me personally, I'm just in the camp of I don't believe we get a full cycle, and a full Bitcoin top without ETH breaking its previous cycle all-time highs. So personally, I'm not doing anything or even thinking about selling until we're up in here. 5K, 6K. I mean, 6K would be embarrassing if that's how high ETH went this cycle. That would be embarrassing. But 4K, no, I'm not selling at 4K. I just don't believe, I'm not in the camp that we don't break the previous all-time high. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just wouldn't make sense that every single other major altcoin, including Bitcoin itself, more than doubles its previous cycle all-time high. Bitcoin's previous cycle all-time high was like 65, 69K. We're going to double that this cycle on Bitcoin. So you're telling me ETH can't double its previous cycle all-time high at a smaller market cap, so it can't go to 10K? I mean, if Bitcoin 2x's its previous all-time high, Ethereum should be at the very least able to match that, considering market cap size. So Ethereum should at the least go to 10K. So to sell at 4K is, in my opinion, way too conservative, but you could, right? So, Alif, it sounds like a problem that you can solve. How about you go make some more money? That's why you got to focus on income. The more income that you make, the more money that you're bringing in on a day-to-day basis, whether it's through your income or whether it's through your job or whether it's through a business that you're building. That's how you DCA, okay? So it doesn't suck. You just need to make more money and be able to DCA. You won't have that problem. So, okay, let's see here. So we're going to look at a chart that we haven't looked at in a long time. So let's pull up Tether dominance. Okay. Let's look up Tether dominance. So USDT Tether dominance. What is this chart? So this chart is a great way to basically call cycle tops and pivot points in crypto. Why is that? Well, as the market cap of USDT goes up, percentage-wise in comparison to the rest of the crypto marketplace, what would that mean? If the market share dominance goes up compared to all of the crypto into stable coins, what would that mean? People are selling their crypto and stabling up because they're worried about the market. They think the market's topped or they think it's bottomed, so they're afraid. They're moving into stable coins. So as this market share goes up, crypto's going down, and vice versa. If everybody's selling all their stable coins and going back into crypto assets, volatile assets, that means the market's going up. Okay, right? Here's a very interesting point of confluence on this. So we've been in this upward channel of this Tether dominance slowly increasing since the end of 2 cycles ago, the end of the bull run in 2017 to 2018, okay? So we started this channel where every time you get a tap on this channel, whether it's on the bottom of the channel or the top of the channel, it called tops and bottoms on Bitcoin, okay? Very good indicator. A lot of people don't look at this. Okay, and I'll show you how it actually lines up just so you guys can get some context. So let me look at this. Okay, let's do Bitcoin. Bomba Cloud, what the fuck was that? Okay, put that into log. Bruh, get out of here. TradingView needs to work on that sensitivity. Okay. Here we go. All right, so look at this. Here's Bitcoin on the bottom. So let's mark out the taps on this channel. So as Tether dominance bottoms and touches the bottom of this channel, that means that Tether market share is down and it bottoms. What does it do on Bitcoin? Look at that. Calls a cycle top. What happens over here? Calls a cycle top. Isn't that interesting? You guys think that's by accident, or do you think it's because it's a great indicator? Calls a cycle top. Okay. And then this one was over here, as that's when it was nuking, so people were afraid. Okay. Anyways. So you see how it calls perfectly this top, calls this top, calls this top. And then even over here, you could say this was a bottom. It wasn't inside the channel, but it was literally a bottom on the chart. What does it do? Calls this cycle top. So look, it's the bottom. So anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row, it calls the top on Bitcoin whenever this hits the bottom of the channel. Okay. Well, what happened this time? Well, and we can do vice versa. As this goes to the top, look at that. Calls local bottoms. So as it hits the top of this channel, it calls local bottoms on Bitcoin, right? Now, what do we do differently here? Okay. So what changed for the first time in since 2018? So what changed for the first time in 8 years? In 8 years is we came to the bottom of this channel and we did not call a cycle top on Bitcoin like this. Okay. This was not a cycle top on Bitcoin because look, we went up higher. So that means that now that we've fallen out of this 8-year channel on Tether dominance, we came down, we broke out of the channel. Look how perfectly these things trade. It's so funny. They trade so well compared to the drawings that you make on them on TradingView. We break down out of this upward channel for the past 8 years. Okay, break down, start to range a little bit. We come back up. What do we do here? Right, this is just a channel I drew on TradingView. Oh, isn't that interesting? Comes right back up and basically retests almost perfectly the channel. Comes back down and then breaks down. Breaks down where? Well, it broke down right here, which look at that. Exactly as it started breaking down is when we got this exact next leg up on Bitcoin in November, where we went from 67K and we pumped all the way up to 107, 108K. Look at that. So it shows you exactly what crypto is doing. So Tether dominance nukes and starts breaking down from this 8-year channel, which is going to be an aggressive breakdown because it's an 8-year channel that it was in. When it breaks down, it's going to be aggressive. As it breaks down, Bitcoin and altcoins are going to start pumping as it has right here, right? Pumped. So what's the point I'm trying to get to? Well, we come back. So we broke down, right? We made a lower low. We start ranging down lower. And we get this basically relief bounce on Tether dominance. So Tether dominance went back up, meaning that the prices of everything else went down, which we saw that. We saw how altcoins got decimated over the last couple of months. What do you think happens after this blow off top? So you get this wick. This was whenever we got liquidated on Ethereum and altcoins. Whenever we had that massive wick down, guess what? You get this massive wick up on stable coins because everybody's stabled up. They're afraid. So we get this massive wick up. What do you think is going to happen now? Whoosh. You're going to get this fucking whoosh down after this one little relief bounce. Well, if you get this whoosh down on stable coins, what are you going to see on Bitcoin? The opposite, right? Bang. You get your next leg up and you see altcoins start to go crazy. Another piece of confluence for what's going to happen in the market. So this is why I look at all these indicators, I look at all these charts and I say, okay, it doesn't make sense for me to be bearish long-term right now because this cycle isn't over. There are so many different things that are showing me that Bitcoin isn't top, that Bitcoin isn't done with its run this cycle. So if Bitcoin's not done this cycle, then why would my altcoins and Ethereum be done this cycle? It doesn't make sense. It's not. So you have to take this opportunity to say, all right, I need to find an individual, or I need to find a group of individuals who know what the hell's going on right now. Give me the confidence to bid whenever it's time to bid, so I can continue to accumulate my conviction plays, so that whenever things do crack off again, I don't get caught with my pants down around my ankles trying to pick up assets on the way up after they've been pumping and FOMOing back in and missing the complete bulk of the gains. No, I was a part of a group, a network, the Taylor's Code, where I was inside of there watching the markets day to day with Priyama and these other gentlemen. We were accumulating at the right time so that while everybody else was afraid, we're getting massive discounts on our bags on the way back up. What happens? We crack off and we make all the gains because we're not FOMOing back in on the pump back up. No, we have the evidence, we have the data to show these are great levels to be accumulating at. Everybody else is afraid. They think we're going to go lower. That's fine. Let me buy more. Okay, wait, holy shit, ETH is back at 3K. Holy shit, ETH is back at 4K. No, it's not going to go past 4K this time. I'm going to short it back down to 0. Oh shit, ETH went to 5K. Oh shit, ETH is in price to come. Oh. Then they keep FOMOing back in, FOMO back in. More people start piling in. That's when you get that massive blow off top. And we've been in since $2,100, $2,200. That's how you make money. Okay, so I just gave you guys a fuck ton of juice within the last hour. All right, I tried to go through as much information as humanly possible. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything else? Hold on, what's going on here, Harry? I'm on the fucking stream. Any questions, comments, concerns, things that you guys want to go over while I'm on the phone or while I'm on the live stream here with you? Okay, I just gave you guys the fucking juice. Good. Like, comment, subscribe. At the very least, like the stream. I know I gave you guys juice. I brought value. You guys showed up. You listened. You watched the whole time. You were getting... I'm sure you guys were taking notes, right? Do me a favor and like the stream and help get this content out to other people so we can continue to grow this organization, continue to grow this network, okay? If you're not already inside of the Taylor's Code, we've just launched the private Discord server with the private crypto plays, a fitness campus, the e-commerce campus, so that, what's his name? Alif, I know that you said you need more money to DCA. Join the Taylor's Code, open up an e-commerce store, start printing money on an e-com store, and use that extra liquidity, that extra money to continue to accumulate your bags. That's how you do it. So join the network, get inside, start making money with us as quickly as humanly possible, so that as soon as you're starting to make money, you can go ahead and invest into crypto. If you're looking to see when we're positioning, when we're buying, when we're accumulating, when we're selling, taking profits, what new assets we're buying before they go public on YouTube, before the masses know about them, again, you have to be inside the Taylor's Code for that, okay? So the link is in the description. The link is in the channel bio for the YouTube. So go to the YouTube channel. In the bio, you'll see the link for the school, the Taylor's Code. Click on it, join it. We'll get you inside the Discord. We'll get you a part of the group. If you want to be a part of the private crypto plays where you're actually getting individual analysis on your portfolio, when we're buying, when we're selling, what assets we're purchasing, what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis in comparison to the boys club, the other memes that we're grabbing, join the private crypto plays folder within the school community. We'll get you added to that portion of the Discord, okay? The private section of the Discord are blocked off for those inside the private crypto plays. You do have to be in that within the school to get access to that portion of the Discord, okay? So outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it cracking. All right, let's have a fucking huge week. Pay attention to what we went over on the stream. And then for those of you guys already inside the Discord, get with me, ask me questions, let me know what you guys are seeing, and I'll let you guys know what I'm seeing here, okay? All right, gentlemen, let's get out of here. It's a little Mr. Producer, got all them hoes. All right, let's see. Let's see. We'll do a live. No, we'll do stream ending soon. All right, gentlemen. Peace.